Hello, everybody, with a ho 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 and a Merry Christmas. And I'm coming with my Christmas holiday movie review of. And what better movie can we think of on this wonderful holiday of Christmas and giving and family and eating and friendship? But Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. Better watch out. Yes, this is a little dusty. There we go. Yes, this is with Mr. Bill Moseley on the back there and Robert Culp, I Spy fame. This is a copy of Silent Night, Deadly Night 3 that you probably can get offline now for I don't know how much. But I actually found this at buybacks, and it was on sale for 99 cents. So I went and actually got some quarters out my car, and I decided to buy it just to collect it, for no other reason, just to have it. Because I did see this when it first came on video back in, I don't know, it was 1989 or 1990 when I saw the film, and me and my cousins at the time, we were fans of the original Silent Night, Deadly Night. Second one, not so much, but that was in the 80s when we saw the second one. So, and we were little too, so we couldn't really appreciate the badness of it. Like when I watched Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, like other people said, it's fantastic. It's fantastic in its badness, which, like everybody has said and everybody knows, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 was essentially created to re-release the original film, but the filmmakers decided not to. So what they did was they took the original film, edited down to like 40 minutes or something like that, or 35 minutes, and made the complete and total first act of Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 in flashbacks. And then they must have, I don't know, shot for like a week or something like that, and filled in the remaining, whatever it is, hour or 50 minutes or whatever. I think Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is only like an hour and like 20 minutes or something like this. It's a short movie. But, everybody talks about Eric Freeman, and the acting is phenomenal in Garbage Day, and it's a total train wreck, but it's awesome in its badness, just like a lot of 80s movies. Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 3, I remember when my aunt took us to the video store, and this was like back, late 80s, early 90s, they still had all these chains, these independent chains of video stores. And a lot of the mom and pop video stores would get these kind of movies, like Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 3. I mean, they get the Lethal Weapons and the Poltergeist and all that stuff. But they would often have a lot of these kind of small movies. Matter of fact, I remember around this time, I think Prom Night 3, The Last Kiss, had come out. That's the one everybody remembers that cover where, like, I can't remember the Lord Mary Lou, whatever the girl's name was from Part 2. She's like on a motorcycle with her boyfriend or something, and I distinctly remember seeing those small movies at those mom and pop video stores would get like big posters. Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 3 had a big poster in the front of the store, I remember back then. And this was like at a video store that was like down the way, like in the hood, you know what I mean? But we used to always rent there all the time. And we rented Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. And I remember I was really excited for it. My cousins were just kind of like, because I was like really a movie buff even back then when I was little. My cousins were kind of more like, they were more like into sports and stuff. I was a casual sports fan, but I was really more into movies, so I was really excited about seeing the film. So we watched it that night. I fell asleep on it. Matter of fact, all of us fell asleep on it. And as indicated because of how boring this film is, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 managed to up the ante and how awful you can make a film, but it's fantastic in its awfulness. It's actually entertaining because it's so bad. You get a great laugh out of it. Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 3 has absolutely nothing to offer on any level whatsoever. You don't get breasts. Okay, well, you do get Laura Harring's for like a hot minute. A very young Laura Herring, who was John Travolta's wife in the Punisher reboot from 2004. Which Laura Herring is just a beautiful woman. So you do get that, but we're talking. This is like 2 minutes of film. We don't even. I mean, we don't even get a love scene. So there's nothing there. The body count is reasonable. Unfortunately, everybody gets killed off screen. So there are 2 on-screen deaths. A psychiatrist gets stabbed in the stomach quite boringly and with no sound effects. So literally, if you don't have like any Foley in your movie and it just literally goes like this, that's how it sounds in the movie. Now, really, it should be like this. That's how it should be in the movie. But as it stands in the movie, it's just like this. He kills a psychiatrist. It goes just like that. Okay. Minimal use of music. And when I mean minimal use of music, I literally mean there are scenes where people are gone after and attacked, and the music just goes. It's real, it's that real cheesy kind of late night Cinemax B movie kind of music, that sounds like it was like made on like a synthesizer, like in your basement or something. It's that kind of music. There's another kill where a guy who looks like he stepped out of an MTV video from the late 80s, or maybe stepped out of an episode of Beverly Hills 90210 from the early 90s with like all his denim, and he's got like this kind of like poofy rock star kind of thing going. He's got like this grunge rocker look going. He's got the full chest hair going. This guy's an early 90s, late 80s rocker, and he gets not even really strangled. Bill Moseley takes a shotgun and presses it up against his throat. So I guess he broke his trachea. But I mean, we don't know. We don't get any sound effects. Bill Moseley literally takes the shotgun, puts it here, and he goes, and it not even this, not even that. No, just. So it looks like Bill Moseley put him like in a sleeper hold with a shotgun, and he fell asleep. Doesn't look like he's dead. That's about the body count you get for Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 3. Bill Moseley is Ricky, who was Eric Freeman in the second film, who was a perfect choice. But the thing is, Bill Moseley, with all his crazy energy that he has as an actor, and we all know Bill Moseley can just chew up scenery. I mean, that man is a fantastic actor. He's got manic energy for days. He's basically relegated to Michael Myers, although it's not as interesting, and he's got a salad bowl dish on top of his head where you can see his brain with like Nintendo programming computers going on in the back, and he's wearing like a coat and a button-up shirt that he stole from some guy who's driving the Dumb and Dumber truck, and yeah, and hospital flip-flops. Yes, I forgot about that part. This movie's a train wreck on every level. About the only credit I can give it is that Robert Culp is in it, and Robert Culp basically he needed a paycheck. So I'm pretty sure the amount they had to pay him was probably the entire budget for the film. That's probably why they didn't have enough money to actually shoot any kills on screen after they paid Robert Culp. But Robert Culp actually, even though all his dialogue is inane and it is pointless and it doesn't mean anything, he actually chews up the scenery with little screen time he has. He's talking to this wannabe Dr. Loomis type of character who's trying to explain that Ricky sees the color of red, which this doctor's delivery of the dialogue is. The actor who plays the doctor, he must have hated doing this movie because he delivers this dialogue with so much contempt. I mean, he's just like, Ricky kills when he sees the color red. That's his motivation. And I'm like, for real, dude? Like, you really thought that was like a convincing way? Robert Culp is basically just like, I'm here for a check. And I love the psychiatrist is explaining Ricky's psychological profile, right? And Robert Culp goes like, so why are all these people dead? I mean, like, it was just so, I could literally see that Robert Culp probably just made that up on the spot. That couldn't have been written. It seemed like an actor moment. And Robert Culp and the psychiatrist ride around on the freeway, talking about nothing. Nothing that doesn't. I mean, we're not even getting deeper psychological profile of Ricky. I mean, they're literally talking about nothing, like cell phones and stuff. And then Robert Cope pulls over to pee. Psychiatrist takes off with the car. Ricky was in a coma from being shot in the last movie, so he's awoken out of his coma by Laura, because Laura is a blind psychic girl. The doctor wants to create a link with them to probe why a psychopathic mind like Ricky would do what he does. I mean, the simple answer is he's nuts. That's the simple answer. But I guess this doctor really wants to know, and he uses her to do it because I guess she's kind of like Carol Ann from Poltergeist, and Diane, I guess they have some kind of, clairvoyant kind of thing going on. And the girl, Laura's grandmother in this film, is a lot like the psychic lady from Poltergeist 2. So it's absolutely ridiculous. It's just so it's horrific in how boring it is. That's the thing. I mean, you don't get good kills. You don't get TNA. Well, Lauren Hare in that one part, and as beautiful as she is, there could have been more. I mean, goodness, can we get a whole full body naked shot? At least give me that. We don't even get that. You don't get a love scene. You get no kills. Bill Moseley can't even express himself with this stupid salad bowl on his head with water swishing around in it. What am I left with? Nothing. The movie it's so boring. I've literally only seen this film 3 times ever. I saw it very first when it came on video in '89. I saw it for the second time when I bought it for 99 cents, and then tonight I saw it again for the 3rd time ever. So you might be asking, why did I buy the film? I think I bought it just simply for the fact that I had 4 quarters in my car, and this movie is a piece of my childhood. Seeing this cover at the video store back then, and really, this was one of the things that was cool about the video store back then, is you would see these kind of covers, and like just looking at this cover, you're intrigued, like, what is this about? Unfortunately, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 3, this is about as interesting as it gets. Is this cool cover, and this is a really cool cover. Look at that with the writing and stuff. This is something that I really miss about the video store days, and even like movies they do now. They don't have this kind of creative artwork. For a movie as crappy as this is and as low budget, I mean, you got to give them points for that fantastic artwork. They don't do artwork like that anymore. It's a shame they don't. Like when I entered the movie business, I like to kind of get back to doing things like that. But we'll see what kind of people I can work with. But this movie's boring. One of the other things that killed, there's like a scene where like Ricky punches his fist through the wall and grabs Laura Herring by the neck, and the brother of the blind girl goes like, "Holy shit!" I mean, it's like such a it's just hysterical, and the pace of the movie is like so slow. Like literally, Michael Myers is a force of nature, so he can appear anywhere at time. So Michael Myers can walk after you, but he's still going to get you because he's a force of nature. He's everywhere. He's the boogeyman. That's Michael Myers' thing. He's just everywhere and he won't die. That's how evil he is. Ricky's a depraved serial killer who has a salad bowl dish on his head. So I just can't figure out why they can't get away from him. So he busts his hand through the door to choke her. The boyfriend goes, "Holy shit." He stabs him in the hand, literally, again, with no sound effects. Ricky screams like 2 minutes later. He goes, "Ah!" And takes his hands out the door. The girlfriend is literally still, Laura Herring is still in front of the door. Does the boyfriend grab her and drag her away from the door? No. They literally stand in one place and go, "How are we going to get out of here?" I'm like, oh my God. It's just a really bad movie. It's bad. It's bad. I mean, the entire Silent Night, Deadly Night saga, they're all bad movies. But you can enjoy the absolute gratuitousness and sleaziness of the original film and bad taste. You can enjoy the film on that level. And the original one is a good slasher movie, it's mean-spirited and nasty, and it's done during Christmas, so it has entertainment value. Number 2 is just a horrible, horrible, horrible piece of dreck, but it's bad in a good way. This here is just boring. About the only credit I can give this movie is, I will say that the Laura Herring is hot, and the girl who plays the blind girl, she's hot. And I will say, I like that this movie has a very dark look to it. It does have a very dark look, and it could have been an opportunity to make this kind of gritty film, but they don't do anything with it. It's just boring. There's no kills. It's just boring. It's boring in the name. So I can think this was only made just because they had the title, and they must have had to pump out another movie or something. But that's really all I can say about Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. Total waste of time. I wouldn't even bother. If anything, go right to Silent Night, Deadly Night. I honestly, and I've seen all of them, I actually like Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 and Silent Night, Deadly Night 5 better than this one. And Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, which the other two movies have nothing to do with the first. This is the last of kind of that storyline from the first film. But Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 is Clint Howard's brother is in it, and he's just like bad shit loony in that movie. It's a Albert Foon directed it, the guy who did like Cyborg and Nemesis and all those kind of low budget movies. He goes nuts in this movie. I mean, this movie is Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 is disgusting. I've only ever seen it one time. I only saw it one time when it first came on video, and it grossed me out. And that's pretty hard for me. It just, it's just a nasty, nasty, gross movie. They used to have it on YouTube. It's gone now. Somebody took it. Why they took that movie down, I don't know, because it's Silent Night, Deadly Night 4. Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker, I actually liked that movie, where it turns out that some kid is trying to get killed by somebody, and it turns out that it's done by this kid who's actually a living doll. He's actually a for real, like, Pinocchio doll in real life. And he wants to kill the kid, and he wants to bone the mom, even though he doesn't have a dick, from what I remember in that film. I haven't seen any of those films, I think, probably since the early 90s. But I would say Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 and 5 are much more entertaining than this. I mean, it's just a waste of time. And I've already spent 17 minutes talking about this piece of garbage, so I'm going to hang it up right now and say RMJ Movie Reviews, and I'll be coming tomorrow with my review of the 1984 classic Ghostbusters. Everybody loves Ghostbusters. I'll cap it off with that. Then I'm just going to do December movies, and then for January, I think I'm gonna go back and do old school action pictures from the 80s and the 90s. But if there's any low budget video store hounds that are my age from back in the day, subscribe to my channel, thumbs up the video, and if any of you guys can even remember Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, those of you who grew up the same time as I did on these kind of movies, put what little comment you might want to put about this movie. But RMJ Movie Reviews, I'll see you guys soon.